Hello everybody, and this is the Big Cat People, Jonathan Angela Scott, wishing you all a very, very happy new year. And at this time of the year, we generally try to create some New Year's resolutions, and normally 5 of them each, and some of them which the other person actually has their chance to ask what they would like the other person to commit to. And one of the ones that is very high a priority for us is to try and keep active, to try and keep fit, because if you want to be a photographer, if you want to be in nature, if you want to get the best out of life, you really need to work on being healthy. So happy and healthy new year. So we go for a walk each morning. We're normally up around about 5:30. We get the beautiful dawn chorus kicking in. So we have the white-browed robin chats. And sometimes at this time of the year, when it's a little bit chilly, you get the montane nightjar, and you'll see them up on the electricity wires or on the ground in the mornings. And so you get this beautiful chorus. And then there's the hardy-dar ibis as well, a bit more raucous. But we then walk. We go for about half an hour, and then we come back. Angie goes to the gym, so she's got a Pilates machine, so she does her stretches, and she listens to podcasts. Meanwhile, I'm in this study here, and I do some static bicycle. I do a bit of weightlifting. I haven't got back on my bike riding around the roads yet, but I will after my 2 knee replacements. And so Angie loves podcasts. She loves listening, and she's a great listener. And then after we've finished that, our exercise session, we come, we have a cup of coffee, we look out of the window, we've got a bird feeder, we get wonderful weavers and beautiful cordon bleus and bulbuls, olive thrushes, and we just love looking out of the window and celebrating nature in that kind of way. The squirrels come along too, and we have Hartlob's turacos, these beautiful, beautiful birds, which when they fly, a flash of crimson in their wings. They don't come to the bird table though, we keep hoping. And we've got a camera ready to take some pictures. Angie's got some lovely ones as the birds fly up from the water bowl or where they're feeding. And so then we discuss the podcasts that Angie's been listening to. At night, sometimes I read to Angie. We're going to listen to some of the podcasts that she's really enjoyed together. And then we often try and sort of, look, what is the gist of those? What's the learning experience from these podcasts? And I think a lot of it, when we talk about relationships, it comes back time and time again to communication. How do you communicate? If you go to other ends of the room and you just stop talking because you're upset, that's not going to do it. We did a adult education one time, a long weekend, the Landmark Forum. And one of the key things that we took away from that was, if you're in an upset, there's normally a conversation missing. Now, it isn't always easy to get somebody to actually talk about something that's upset them, either you or the other person. And if all else fails, write them a letter. I've done that in the past. And it can be really therapeutic, not just for you, but for them as well. Everybody benefits. And I think, in these days of social media, you can't help notice the people who are basically wanting to engage in a constructive way, in a generous way, in a kind way, who want to be encouraging. And as Angie says, a key thing in communication is simply to validate the other person's point of view, even if you don't agree with it. And as I say, social media, there's some great positives to it, but there's also a lot of people who seem to they're just dying for a fight. They're dying for the chance to actually be nasty, toxic, vindictive. And as that wonderful old writing, Desiderata, when I was in the 60s and when I was a youngster, grew up with that, avoid loud and aggressive people. If people are disturbing your status quo, you won't be able to change the way they're thinking or acting. Just walk away. Say, you know what? I don't need this. And so for this year, we've got all kinds of things lined up. We're hoping to go back to do some puma trekking on foot. That was an incredible experience last year, along with going to the Pantanal, revisiting the Pantanal, and photographing jaguars. And it's been fascinating to compare the problems, the challenges of those 3 different types of safari. A safari in a vehicle, here in Kenya or anywhere in Africa, and trying to have those guiding and visitor protocols to get the best experience for you and for the wildlife. So not to be unduly pushing the animals, or not pushing them at all if you can avoid it, particularly in trying to get that photograph, getting the shot. That seems to be driving a lot of people to behaving really badly. And then if you go to somewhere like the Pantanal in Brazil for jaguar watching, then that's from a boat. And then it's a question of whether the boat's going to press too close to the jaguars when they're hunting. Some of them are very habituated, and it can be a lot of pressure as more and more people want to go naturally to see that incredible sight in Brazil. We go to Porto Joffe, which is a wonderful destination if you're looking for jaguars. And then puma trekking, our first opportunity to do that last August in Patagonia in Chile, close to Argentina, where Angie's mum was born and where her granddad was an iconic polo player. He captained the Argentine polo team, 1936, Hugo Backhaus. Now it's a little bit down the road. We're working on a third book in the trilogy, so the final volume of our Sacred Nature books. This one's going to be called Life's Incredible Journey, and it'll draw on our personal experience. What have we learned from the photographers we've met, from the charismatic people like Jane Goodall, David Attenborough? What can we feed back into the system to try and encourage, like they have, for us to step up and do something on behalf of nature? Well, as I said, I can just keep talking, so I found the off switch and I'm going to turn it off now. But do have a very happy, healthy new year, and just challenge yourself. I think so often we sort of underrate what we can do. We take the easy option and say, I couldn't do that. I did it about learning to fly an aircraft. I always say, I'd get lost, so I didn't do it. I could have, but I chose not to. Push yourself, follow your own path, and have a wonderful, happy, but particularly healthy new year. From Angie and myself, lots of love, take care, and we hope to see you this year. Bye-bye.